All right, this week for the Writing Center, you are going to get a book on Epic. I am going to assign it to you. So when you open up Epic, the book will be there. You're going to read the book. Then you're going to decide, would you recommend reading this book to somebody else? Would you tell them you should read this book? Would you recommend with some cautions, like you should read this book, but there are some things to be careful of. Some things are not the best. Or would you say, I do not recommend this book, you should not read it? Okay, you need to decide. Then you need to fill out the chart for your book. The first thing is, first you need to come up with a few things about your book. The text is about blank. I chose Peter Pan. You are going to have a book from Epic. It will be different. But mine is about Peter Pan. I wrote boy, never grows up, Neverland. Okay, that's what the text is about. What is your reason that you would recommend with cautions or would not recommend? You have to have reasons why you would tell someone to read it or why you would say, don't read this. So I would recommend because it is fun to use imagination. Now I need to give examples, evidence. Imagination is in the text is the mermaids and fairies, okay? Now over here is my second reason. Why would I tell someone to read this? I would tell someone to read it because it has a good lesson. For example, enjoy being a kid like Peter, but you have to grow up like Wendy. Okay, these are my reasons, 2 reasons, and my 2 pieces of evidence for each one. Okay, then when you go to the next part, day 2, you are actually writing your paragraph. You are going to write a whole paragraph, okay, using your planning that you just did on the chart to make a paragraph telling someone why you would recommend this book. Now, here are some examples of sentences if you need some examples. The text is about Peter Pan and how he is a young boy that never wants to grow up. He takes the darling children to Neverland to have some adventures. From my point of view, I think the text is interesting. I would recommend this book to a friend. First, I would recommend this text because it is fun to use your imagination. Remember, that's my first reason. For example, imagining mermaids and fairies is fun. Secondly, I would recommend this text because it has a good lesson. You should enjoy being a kid like Peter Pan, but everyone has to grow up like Wendy. In conclusion, I would recommend this book to a friend because it uses your imagination and it has a good lesson. Okay, that's just an example of how I would write my paragraph, okay? Check for spelling, check for periods, and if you need anything, go back to your chart to give you your ideas.